to have the ice cream or.
You want to know what just happened?
You didn't.
No, I pressed play, but it literally just went blank on me, and it stopped my recording. And now I'm at like 13 seconds.
Yeah, I see that.
I am very, very aggravated.
I
mean, it's like a practice run, you know?
Yeah, that's all right.
One of the things that happens all the time is technology kind of just.
I know. That's all right. We can let it rip again.
Yeah, dude, we're gonna have to fake open the beer. We have to make that noise.
That's all right. Yeah, yeah, that's fine. No, I totally understand it. One, I totally appreciate that you do this, and I'm leveraging your hard work and everything. I want to bring the value, and so yeah, it's not a big deal. It is
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. So let's go right from the top again. We got 10 minutes of practice underneath our belt, and it always gives me like hives, man. When things don't go right.
I was recording a Zoom with a guy that I met on Instagram. Kurt was his name, and he and I just met, and we ended up collaborating and did something about helping men connect through community, through helping men through connection and community. It ultimately is what it was. So real quick, this is just audio, right?
No, this is video, bro.
Oh, video too? Okay.
Yeah,
I just want to make sure that I'm not over here picking my nose or something.
No, don't do that. I mean, I can edit out a lot, but sometimes those are like the B-reel, the B footage.
Yeah. All right.
So welcome back to Two Dads Having a Beer, the podcast, where the only thing more honest than the stories and the technical difficulties is the beer that is going to be in our hands and soon to be in our bellies, potentially again. Every week we sit down with a different dad from a different walk of life. It doesn't matter what title they carry, because in this space, we're just dads talking about what it's like to raise kids, chase purpose, and of course, stay sane during that process. I'm your host, Brandon Labonte. I have 10 kids. I'm a blended family. I'm doing my best to protect myself from the children, but also to provide myself with a little bit of peace of mind and to be present for all the things that matter. So if you're new here, please subscribe. Hit that button, follow us on all the social media channels. And if you've got a story to tell, the door is always open for you to reach out to me, because we're always looking for guest dads. Let's get right into it. Tonight's guest dad is someone who brings energy. He brings focus and passion for helping men show up healthier, and women in a stronger, more energetic lifestyle in every area of their life. He's a dedicated health coach. He's worked with Olympians. He's worked with CrossFit champions. And of course, he's worked with just regular guys just trying to keep up with their kids, because kids are packed with energy. So he helps people reclaim that energy and the confidence through practical strategy. And he lives with his whole life out with his wife, Amber, and his 4 kids. Please welcome to the podcast, Brian Parana. Just like the fish. He doesn't bite, though.
Only if you get on my bedside. It's like good cop, bad cop with me sometimes, especially in the coaching. We're all good. And then if something's not going on, all of a sudden you're going to get 20 questions from me, because we need to figure out why something isn't going the way it should. So thanks so much for having me, Brandon. I appreciate all this and connecting with other fathers, because father of 4 and you have so many more of responsibility. It's just great to connect with someone that's living with you. You've got a sense of purpose too.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And I absolutely do have a sense of purpose. And sometimes the only thing that helps me get through that is a nice cold beverage. And so tonight I'm drinking, what are you drinking? Let's start with you, pal.
Yeah, I've got a Founders is the brand. We've got a porter. It's roasted coffee notes, graham cracker sweetness. I like the dark. It's so good. There we go.
Hey, I like the graham cracker sweetness. I mean, it'd be great if you could just stuff like a marshmallow in that thing. That's a beautiful bottle, bro. And I've got myself a Cypress and Grove, and it is called the Crane Song. It's a beautiful can.
Yeah.
I like it. It's a Japanese style rice beer. And the reality is, I knew I was going to be on the show with a health and fitness guru, so I went with the gluten-free.
Well done. There we go. Cheers.
Cheers, brother. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. And so just to kind of give everybody a little bit of background into this conversation, it's literally deja. And I'll explain that in a TikTok later on in like a little reel because there's going to be some cool B-roll from this. I'll just tell you right now, Brian and I have been talking for 10 minutes, and the record button wasn't pressed. I don't know what's in this beer, man.
It's not the 4 or 5%. It's like 10 or 11. Huh?
Yeah, it's the expensive one on the shelf, man. So, first of all, how did you get started coaching dads, athletes, and high performers? Tell everybody about who you are and what you do.
Yeah, excellent. Well, I've been in the health, nutrition, fitness industry for, shoot, if we want to count it, 23 years or so. It's literally the only thing I've done this whole time is help people improve their health, their fitness, quality of life through self-respect in a sense, finding
Sure.
self-worth, using exercise or healthy foods or the, thinking higher of themselves, putting their confidence or their self-esteem up there and taking care of themselves first so they could take care of other people or other things that are in their life. So we go way back to 2002 after I graduated. This is in the mix of being at the YMCA Canal place, it was called. And I had a maintenance job to get a free gym membership.
So when you say maintenance, do you like plumbing or working on the equipment?
Well, basically just sweeping and folding towels. That was the fancy word that's all I did was clean, sweep, and fold towels. But I got a free gym membership, which literally is the birthplace of this career. And as I had been in there, Carson and Toad was another gentleman. They're both exercise directors there. Said, hey, young, able-bodied man that has energy, go teach some group exercise classes. And they basically forced me to do it. And I think Carson he also taught group exercises. He needed subs to help cover his classes when he wasn't able to do it. So he's like, Brian is going to fill in for me when I can't do it. So that ends up bringing Monday 5 to 5:30 phenomenal abdominal. That's what we were doing
phenomenal abdominal. And
yes.
you're in Ohio, so you had snow. Did you have the phenomenal abominable abdominal?
Yeah. In the wintertime, for sure. And there'd be mats stacked all over the place in the room, which was awesome. And that's where I gained my initial confidence to be in front of people, to actually lead. People loved coming to the class. I actually did that class for multiple years until I shifted into online remote coaching and I was out of the gym scene.
Right.
Loved it.
So the clientele that
Yes.
that you kind of are shooting for it's a full spectrum, So
Yeah.
what shifts when you're coaching an Olympian versus coaching just an everyday dad just trying to survive?
Yeah. Everyone is a human being, and we all operate under 24 hours and the constraints of what a typical life in the day of whoever that person is. The Olympian had problems just like anyone else. She just was a really good athlete and dedicated her life to that. She was Sofia Reynoso, a Mexican kayaker. I had the pleasure of doing Tokyo and Paris Olympics, helping navigate nutrition and lifestyle through that. She trained 4 hours a day. The CrossFit champion was Betsy Finley. She was a personal training client. She never trained before the age of 50, and she won at the games at 60, which is crazy. She could lift 250 pounds, rope climb, do 100 pounds overhead, do pull-ups, all sorts of crazy things. It was
CrossFit
awesome.
is no joke.
It's no joke. Those are 2 gyms that I own. My inception was the group exercise that led into an exercise degree that led into personal training, into owning 2 CrossFit gyms, to being a remote online health coach. And from the get-go, the underlying pulse of every single person I work with, they have their individual needs, their own challenges, their struggles. And I had gotten, and I believe I'm very good at listening to who they are, what they're about, what their goals are, and understanding their challenges, and be able to find those little tiny spots where we can interject that situation. I call it shoelace moments.
Shoelace moments. That's good.
You have too many kids. You get this, right? Every father would. How many times do you tell your kid, hey, your shoe's untied? You should probably bend over and tie it, right?
We started buying Velcro, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Because you got tired of tying it. But we can't tie shoes for other people, right? I always joke with people, I'm not cooking your food for you. I'm not working out for you. It doesn't matter where I'm at. I'm going to talk to you and I'm going to gauge I'm on your team. But with my kids, Everett, he's the second one. The little bugger at 14, he's taller than I am. I'm 6 foot. I'm looking up to him now. And the worst part is I talk trash to him his whole life about how I was always going to be taller than him. Now I'm not. I'm sad. He's like 6'3", but he weighs at least 50 to 60 pounds less than I do. I will squash him if he ever wants to come at me. But so the shoelace comes undone and you have a choice to tie it or not. Right. Yeah. And he'll shrug and yeah, it's okay, whatever. Mm-hmm. Literally, I think the last time I said something, he just went on with his way, not tying it. Well, oftentimes that is fine and you won't have a problem. Sometimes you'll step on it, trip and stumble. Sometimes you'll face plant. Right. My job as a coach is to teach my clients to double knot the shoelaces. Therefore, the shoelaces are incredibly less likely to come undone. And if they do come undone, they will have the observational awareness and the mental insight to stop before they face plant. Example being one beer, just because we're drinking, one beer could turn into 2 or 3, depending, or 5 or 6, depending on the situation that you're at. Right. The shoelace moment is not necessarily even agreeing to go to a brewery with your buds or burgers and beers or whatever. That's fine. The intention on the front end, you have to say, hey, this group of guys or this situation, I might be more likely to drink. Is that okay with me or not? And if it's not okay, then we need to limit to 1 and be very intentional about that. And ideally, you're around a safe group of people that 1 and done is cool, and they're not gonna beat you over the head with another beer to try and get you to drink one. But if the shoelace moment comes at the point at which you're drinking your first one and the desire to have a second one starts to come in, and that's where we can find when I talk with people is, okay, at what point did you decide that it was okay to go back on what you had decided was good for you in the beginning? What you were going against your intentions? Or on a good side, at what point in that evening did you stand up for yourself in a sense and stick to what was important to you to follow through, so when you get to the end of the night you're actually really satisfied with it and you didn't wake up with food regret or a hangover the next day because you stuck to your guns?
Yeah, and I feel like that's a really, really valid, methodology. It certainly is a great metaphor, to understand that, you double knotted your shoes on purpose, right?
Yes.
So that you have a little bit of leeway, because even though you double knotted, it doesn't mean the shoe's completely untied if you mess up.
Yeah, it's going to come untied. We're just humans. We walk around and the shoes are man-made and they're going to come undone.
Yeah, everything. Our lives are dictated by, impulse purchases, right? And so we got to be able to either 1, justify why we did what we did, or 2, understand that this impulse is fleeting, right? Yes, and we have to kind of move ourselves away from that moment, or stay in that moment, but be cognitively aware of your own limitations. Like, so I usually say, like, hey, listen, I need to know when to stop the hops. Right? And that's because I've been down the road many times of when the hops took advantage of it, right? Yes. And those moments of regret, when the next day you're like, what did I do?
Yeah. Why did I make those choices?
Why did I say that to you, honey? I am so sorry. Right? So like, all of those things happen when you get past that limit and your shoes come untied. And the reality is, falling on your face because your shoes are untied was a decision that you made not to.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. So I appreciate that, man. That's really awesome. So, hey, back to the very beginning of this whole thing. It's about dads, right? So you've got 4 kids. How do you stay present and connected with them? What are their names? What are their ages?
I've got Levi at 15, Everett at 14, Maxwell at 12, and Emmeline at 10. 3 boys and a girl. It rounds out my group. Now, Levi's the athlete, he's pretty easy to connect with. If you check my Instagram, literally today, I uploaded a workout that we both did. I did it on a time-lapse video. We did chest. Very easy to connect with them. I drive them to swimming. For his swim coaching, I drive him to the swim meet. So I can connect, talk, really bestowing parental type conversations and thought processes and behavior patterns and thinking about his even the last thing I was telling him was his content diet. Dude, bro, that's the word. Everyone's a bro, not
Dude,
us. Yeah.
I'm
Bro,
telling you, what
the
a world we live in, right?
No.
6-year-old that knows how to use this better than I do.
Yes, yes. And
content diet is a huge thing.
Yeah.
We could literally
we can go forever.
Whole book on that.
Yep. And so then we have so I can connect with him pretty easy, right? He's the athlete. He's very much of all four, he's most like I am. Then we have Everett. He's an artist. He does visual arts, performing arts. This kid is a artistic all-star. His paint is in the mayor's office. He's sold paint. He's already collected money off his paintings at 13, and he got the end of the year with the Scholar Award. I can bond and connect with him on his art, he did steel drums, he played viola, he was a lead in the theater, so I can connect with him. He's so tall that he custom makes his own pants. Literally, he's got a sewing machine. And he's up at 10:30 at night with not by candlelight because we don't have candles, but by lantern light.
1876.
Yes, but he's literally got these lanterns on two or three flashing down on his sewing machine, and he's in there like the Everett sweatshop going on, making his pants and redoing them. He'll build them up, he'll wear them for a day or 5, and then he tears them down and adds something else to it. It's pretty hilarious. So he's pretty easy to connect with. Maxwell is my third son. He is crazy smart. Oh my gosh, he is just a brainiac. And the kid's acing state tests. He reads books like it's his job. I actually pay him money to read books. So you get 50 cents for every 50 pages. And he's coming to me. He's collected over $80 multiple times because of the amount of books that he's read. So I'm incentivizing that
incentivizing your brokenness.
Yeah.
But it's fine, right? Because he's going to be smart enough to make it back for you.
Yes, I got to give him. He needs an allowance or something, right? And so I'm giving it to him through the act of reading. He's going to be most of the challenging ones out of all 4 of them. Because there's 15 relationships. I've done the math. I don't even know how many are in your house. Holy moly, it's probably like 40 with that many people.
Luckily, they're not all in the house, right?
Okay, yeah. And so he's the one that I have to really pay attention to and go out of my way to connect with. And then my daughter Emmeline, she's daddy's little girl. She's very easy to connect with. I read to her every night, 1, 2, 3 books before we go to bed. Even at 10, she loves reading Mo Willems, Elf and Piggy. We read Dr. Seuss still. We do read chapter books and stuff, but it's just time to spend, connect. And the biggest reason why I do that, because I have the smarts here, I think, is I want her to be a confident, bold, independent female in 10, 20 years, that she can take care of herself, that she is her own person and doesn't need some man's attention or some dopamine hit from whatever can fill that.
Right. Yeah. So I want to just first of all commend you, man. Brian,
thank
that
you.
is.
I'm just gonna say I don't get it right all the time. Okay.
Oh, I already knew that.
Yeah.
In fact, everybody watching knows that you didn't always get it right all the time, because that's what being a dad is about. The dad isn't about being perfect; it's about being present.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And it's also about being humble and understanding. And even with those character traits, we still mess up.
Yes, totally.
And we get our temperature. We're supposed to be able to read a thermostat in the house. And sometimes we forget to read our own thermostat in our own personality when it comes to our kids who are literally just our DNA, parts of who we are. But those small, powerful moments and things that you do with your kids are absolutely a beautiful family consistency that you're investing in. And I want to commend you for that, man.
Yeah.
That is
I
really
go to my wife and I make it a point to go to all their activities. We're there at 90% of them as best we can be.
except for
We
tonight, man. And I took you away from.
well, he's working. So it's
Okay,
fine.
it's not
Then
really an activity; it's a job.
yeah, it's a job, right? It's a job thing. And he told me at 10 something last time. He's like, dude, I've got things that I need to do the next day. You need to be better. So this is a teaching moment. You have to be more responsible with your schedule and knowing and understanding what it is, because he wants to be flighty. He wants to push blame. He wants to not take responsibility right now. I said, no, you're working now. People are paying you to be places. You have to know when you need to be there. And
Yeah.
I always love this. This is one of my favorite things. And I always talk in analogies and metaphors, and because that's how you connect with people to get them to understand, like the shoelace. But you choose your actions, but you don't choose your consequences. That's been a strong phrase that I've told him. Sure, you can go speed, you might get away with it, but if you get caught, you might be looking at a fine, or if you're going fast enough, you might lose your license. And not showing up for a job situation could cause you to lose your job. This is a real thing, Levi. You need to make sure you're paying. He's not in threat of like flaking out on work or anything, but that's a part of the conversation that we need to have with him, because he's 15. It's his first job. He doesn't understand
Yeah, you got to bring
what it
awareness
looks
to
like.
things that they don't understand and know yet, right? And
Yep.
so eventually, right? I mean,
Yes.
kids live
You
and
hope.
learn through their mistakes. I mean, I know I have, right?
Yep.
And so
We all do.
yeah, and so from the standpoint of what parents do, right? They're not intentionally trying to helicopter parent you and try to protect you. Honestly, dude, one of the things that in my full time responsibility, I'm a recruiting manager at a mechanical company, and I also own my own business as well. But I literally had parents call me on behalf of their children to get an interview, and I'm just okay. Wait a minute, time out. Like, how are you helping your college, high school kid graduate help himself in the future? With things like that, like you just mentioned, right? Like these opportunities where you kind of instill little nuggets of information about how life is going to be and how you should be aware of that. Because when it happens, these little nuggets, metaphors, analogies, soliloquies, they all come back to you. And you're like, my dad said that. And now I see it. And I'm going to go ahead and act on the better fun. And so that's really powerful. So you've been to all 50 states.
Yes.
What's a travel memory that has really stuck with you?
Well, I'll start with a not so good one and a teaching moment for being a father. We go back to my third son, Maxwell. Okay. We are in San Diego. Yeah, my wife is a travel advisor. She has her own job, and she sends people on epic bucket list type trips and get them to go do them, because a lot of times people want to go do the thing, but they're not going to. They get in their own way. They don't know how to plan it, whatever. She's taken all 6 of us to all 50 states. We've slept in 49. Idaho is our 50th state. We're going to get there one day. And we're on to the 7 continents. We just literally got back from a 2-week trip in Europe. We did a 7-day Disney cruise, Rome, Greece, Paris, Disneyland Paris. We saw all sorts of crazy stuff. But we'll go to the
on
point.
The Disney cruise. You saw the crazy stuff on the Disney cruise?
Yeah, well, yeah,
Somebody
exactly.
literally just jumped off, like their daughter fell off the boat. There was just on the news, and the dad jumped in to save his daughter, and they had to turn the boat around. Like, talk about dad moment. I'm sorry, that wasn't your.
That's
event,
a crazy dad. Yeah, it was not on our boat. I would,
Okay.
I would have, I just being a dad, just like, this would be horrible if somebody fell off, especially a kid. Would just not be good. We digress. Let's go to San Diego. This is about probably 3 to 4 years ago. We're in San Diego, February. It's a little chilly at nighttime, but it gets nice and warm, 60, 65, especially at that time. Beautiful blue skies. Went to the zoo. We did the I believe it was Baymont, the beachside amusement park. They had a roller coaster. They had all the bumper cars and the arcade and all the climbing thing and all the game stuff. And we've done one thing the kids are very fond of, and make sure to a point that we do, is have ice cream in every state.
Okay.
We we had multiple ice cream opportunities, and yes, I eat the ice cream. It's a family bonding moment that I've chosen that I'm going to participate in and not be like, well, Dad never eats ice cream because he has a six pack, and that's more important to him. Because at this point in my life, they would roast me. At being teenagers, they would totally make fun of me, like Ned never ate ice cream ever. But I enjoy ice cream. It's one of those things that I do allow for, and I'm really built around moderation, balance, flexibility. But going back, and I'm living that every day. So going back to Baymont, we're having ice cream, and I wasn't going to get one because I didn't. I was just going to share dad tax, right? I'm going to do dad tax, and I swear to you, the scoops of ice cream, it looked like two softballs on top of each other. It was humongous on a waffle cone. It was massive, and I totally blew it with, especially with Maxwell. He doesn't need all, like, internally, he doesn't need all this. It's too much for him.
Mm.
You need to share it with me. And I totally just blew it because it soured the whole experience. All the fun that we had, all this. Next thing you know, I'm off to the side because I'm just sad because of my actions and the way I stepped in there, and I shouldn't have. He wasn't going to eat the whole thing anyways. It was literally too much ice cream in one sitting, and at some point he would have been tired of it, or I could have swooped in then, but I was impatient. I wanted some myself, just being a little greedy little boy inside. And it cost me. It cost me this memory. It cost me that moment in that time. My wife and I were distant that night, right? Because it caused a lot of friction in the family. I think he even dropped it, some of it on the floor, and he was really just upset with it too.
Yeah.
So that's a point in time where I dropped the ball, and something so magical, and spending the time, effort, energy, and the money to go to San Diego and share that with them.
So talking about a memory that really sticks with you, that one definitely would, and it certainly is one of those moments where you can just sit back and say, of all the things that were beautiful and amazing, this one thing was a learning moment for me about myself.
Yeah.
That really sticks out. That's great insight, man. Reflection is always the best teacher. In my personal opinion, I think I do it all the time. So let's talk about that one person in your life that really keeps you grounded. Tell us a little bit about your spouse.
Amber, she's my high school sweetheart. I've known her since I was 11. 42. She's 41. She'll be 42 here in about a week.
Age. We'll go ahead and block that one.
So she gave me the letter, the check this box if you want to be a friend, or check this box.
Was it with this thing that goes like this?
Yeah, probably. But this was in ending junior year, going to senior summer. I checked the friend box, but we ended up connecting, and by the end of the summer, my buddy, one of my best friends in life, Dan, he's still, I see him pretty much on a weekly basis now, and he has 4 kids too. But Dan bet me $5 in 2000. It was $5 for somebody who doesn't have a job. That's too much money. I'm like, I'm not giving you $5 to not go out with her because I like her.
Give me that money. Give me that money.
Yeah. So I asked her out, and we did it at band camp. Literally, I sat next to her. We played clarinets for years. That's what built our relationship to the point of where it was.
I'm going to go ahead and stop this whole thing right now. Band camp and clarinets. Pushing me over the edge. I don't know what to do. I'm looking for you like say, it's saxophone, because that's clearly the sexiest instrument there is. No, my man, you were literally Kenny G.
Oh, so
that's awesome, man.
We did that. We got married at 23. We had our first kid at 26, and then somehow we have 4. I'm not sure, but we all know how that happens.
We do, yeah.
But she yeah, had one too many. She has said something recently. Even she says, "Brian, you're my person. Like I chose you," and it just, wow, it hits me. and it forces me to higher my level of accountability standard of how I operate and behave around it, because I still don't do a great job. I have my own selfish needs. I'm very busy. I've got 4 kids. There's constant demands, as you well know. There's so much happening and so much coming at you, and even if you're quiet on the outside, the inside can be just rolling with all sorts of stuff. Yeah. And she is the person I get to see every night. We talk, we connect, we have nightly meetings. Sometimes I should be directing that. I'm better at it some days than others. I need to make sure I do it this next week to stay on top of who's getting what, going where, doing however. But we talk, we walk our dog. He's a giant 6 foot Newfoundland when he's on his back legs, and so we walk and talk, we spend time together, we come together as a unit to do this travel, and we've purposely designed our life to create experiences and opportunities for not only us but for our kids, most importantly, so that when they get out into the world, they've already left life. My daughter has visited all 50 states. She's 10. It's crazy the opportunities that we're trying to give. So because we bonded in that type of togetherness, it just helps keep us focused. But also, this is the default of decades of spent time with her, and the we don't have a lot of support in our back end. Our families aren't present. And we've got a brother, a father, and mother not present. She's got a brother, sister, mother, and father not present. And therefore, it's
family.
us.
Like, they're just extended family. And
yes.
Your family is your family. And
exactly.
I love that, man.
So I'm bonded to her, whether I like it or not. I've chosen, and this is my life, and she will forever be in my life. So I might as well make it as great as I can and connect with her as much as I can and be on her side and be her person as much as I can. I'm human again. I will falter time and again, but the undertone and what's in my brain is, how can I do better for her? A simple thing is, I always get her ice in her water before bed.
Man, that's really amazing.
And if I don't, she's sarcastic and she says, "Do I have to get my own ice?"
Amber, tonight I broke both my arms. No, honestly, man, I adore that, and I still open the door for my wife. Like, I will walk on the other side of the vehicle and open the door for her. Awesome. I literally texted her today that I have a huge crush on her. Right? I feel like one of the things that I love about relationship, right, is when guys get it. And I don't get it all the time. Like, there are times where, like, I am enemy number one. Like,
oh yeah,
if FBI had a picture, I'd be on the fridge. Like,
most
there are moments when that happens, right? But at the same time, I always take a step back, and I always say, this is the person that I love, this is the person that I chose, and this is the person that I want to be with for the rest of my life. How can I make that happen? Sometimes it's putting my own ego aside. It's praying with her every single night, right? As family, just letting her know that, there's something about our connection that is, I married you. I'm in love with you. Like, our kids are eventually going to be in their own homes with their own families. I'm still going to be with you. And so, I think that's really, really the most important thing about relationships. And congratulations to you finding yourself a $5 rug. That's really awesome.
I'm married up. I'm the one who won out on this one. I'm just the hustler. She's the smart cookie here.
That's awesome, man. So we're going to do the lightning round, and we're going to close it out. All right?
Cool.
So, early bird or night owl?
Night owl by default of Amber.
Night owl by default of Amber, because you have to get her that ice. Makes perfect sense.
No, she doesn't go to bed till midnight or later, and then our kids don't go to bed because they're just like mom, and they're not going to bed. Even on school night, sometimes they're 9:30, 10 roaming around the house. Go to bed. I'm done with you. Like, we're done. We did the bedtime. We brushed our teeth. We read the stories. Get to sleep. I need to do something else with my life.
So theoretically, they actually might be extra early birds, like the earliest of birds. So a favorite guilty pleasure meal?
A guilty pleasure meal. I'm gonna go with
the ice cream, bro.
Yeah, I love ice cream. One unique thing about me is I get a different flavor every time I go, as much as I can. I don't get cookies and cream and the chocolate peanut butter thing or whatever. In Cape Cod last summer, I got a ginger beer. That was a memorable one. You get the jalapeno, the one with the jalapeno or the cayenne little pepper zing in it, or the lavender honey, or the brambleberry, or this, if whatever is unique is the one that I trend toward first to just try something different. I like variety.
That's really awesome. All right. So one thing that your kids say that literally cracks you up, belly laughs.
Oh, right now I've convinced my daughter that my chin hair is ticklish. So I have to laugh every time that she comes up and she just starts doing this. So I have to laugh because she's convinced that I have a ticklish facial hair. And
Okay,
this
absolutely.
is as good as it gets. Like this is it. And I'm just lazy. So I usually just have a goatee. I'll trim it and occasionally I'll shave it. But this stuff over here, I can dry shave. It's so fair and light. So
So I
that's
have yet
I
to
guess
have a guy with like a full beard on the show yet. Like 'cause I have a hard time growing a full beard. Like
yeah.
you can get it, but it's patchy and gray. Like
Yeah,
I can
not
really
even.
grow a great cheek ball hair.
Yeah, nice.
But that's like the most unacceptable facial hair that you can have, like two big balls of hair on your cheek.
Yeah.
Everything else is shaved. That'd be just a weird guy. Hey,
Yep.
listen, Brian, thanks again for hanging out with me and
Yes.
sharing not just your insights, but your heart, man. It's
Yeah,
clear
thank
that you're doing more than just coaching. It's clear
Thank
that you're doing more than just being a dad. It's clear that you're doing more than just being a
Appreciate
husband.
that.
You're helping people reclaim their power. You're bringing joy
Yes.
and life into a family. And this world is going to benefit from everything that you do. And there's nothing too small for us dads that play hard, right? And to everybody listening, whether you're crushing it or just getting by, remember this: showing up matters. The
Yes.
little things matter.
Yes.
And no matter your title, whatever it is outside of these walls, right? Being a dad is the one thing that changes the world inside of these
Yes.
walls. So
Yes.
if
So
you
much.
liked
Sure.
today's episode, you can follow us on social media and you can follow us on all of our different channels that we got going on and share it with another dad. But before we go, Brian, tell everybody where they can find you and what they can do to get in touch with you if they're needing a whole lot of help or a little bit of help.
Yeah, thanks so much. So right now I have the calltorise.com. Call to Rise is a 100-day weight loss experience, transformation in a sense, looking for men that want to lose 20, 30 pounds, and even more importantly, see the man that they want to see in the mirror, looking back at them, show up as a husband, show up as a father, show up as a man that they want to be in. And in that 100 days, we're going to do weekly challenges. We have quarterly assessments and challenges to do there. There's a brotherhood. We're going to have 8 to 12 guys, a cohort of guys to come together and actually support each other to rise up all boats and to create this crucible of accountability and radical support in that. So that's what I'm doing these days. And if any of the conversation we had resonates, and that'd be the best way. I also have a 3-day fat loss Kickstarter called the Rise 72. So you'll be able to check that out. It's just really kind of kick in the pants, if you know what I mean, to get you started on the right path of not only nutrition, fitness, but also open the mind to connect with those closest to you, especially with yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. And all of those links, he's going to send those to me. They're
Yep.
going to be in this podcast, in the section below. You can literally just click on those links and go right to those places. And of course, if you're in the Akron, Ohio area, my daughter, she lives in Dayton, and so she's actually
Close
the
enough.
operations manager at Burn Boot Camp. And so,
Yeah.
one of the things that I just want to do is just commend you so much for all that you've done.
Thank you.
Until
Appreciate
next
it.
time, right here on Two Dads Having a Beer. Cheers, man. Appreciate it.
Cheers.